Testing. Okay.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Happy belated New Year. Welcome to All Space Considered, everyone. First one in 2026. Congratulations, everyone made it to 2026. So you might notice we are missing someone today. We are missing Dr. Reitzel. Unfortunately, he's out sick. So we are going to do our best to cover everything. And we'll see him next month. We'll miss him, but we'll see him next month. So I have a phenomenal panel here tonight. We've got Jared Head here.
Hi, Mom. What's up, y'all?
We've got Bill Gruneberg.
Hi, Jared's mom.
And we've got Ginger Rose Brucker.
Hi to my mom. I know she's watching also.
It's very late in France, so my parents are not watching, but bonjour. I'm Laura May Abron. And All Space Considered is brought to you by the City of Los Angeles Department of Recreation and Parks. We also want to thank our exclusive nonprofit partner and all of its members, Griffith Observatory Foundation. We have a great show for you all tonight, and we have a great panel. Now, All Space Considered is on the third Thursday of the month, and today is Thursday, January 15th, 2026, so our first show of the new year. And we do this show live in the Leonard Nimoy Event Horizon Theater show. So if you want to join us in our live audience here at Griffith Observatory, maybe you're watching online, feel free to come here. It is free. Or you can, of course, watch us live, and you can watch a replay. So we have a great show tonight, some exciting topics. We're going to talk about a meteorite in a haystack, a mystery. We will have, of course, our monthly Mostest. And that one concerns the Vera Rubin Observatory. It spotted an unusual little rock. Next, we'll have a sunset challenge, and that one will be geared towards all of you watching or all of you here. And then we have a shockwave surprise to start the year. We're also going to give you a little update on the Mars sample return. Then we'll have some amazing astronomical images, of course, our pretty pictures with Ginger Rose Brucker. And of course, always one of our favorite sections, the Out to Launch. With Jared Head, we'll be discussing all things spaceflight that have happened recently. And finally, we will have a very special celebration. We have two guests tonight. Very, very special. We're excited to celebrate a centennial. It is the centennial of the Los Angeles Astronomical Society. So we will have, I think that deserves 100 years.
We're halfway there.
Yep, halfway there. So we will have Keith Armstrong. This is the LAAS president, current president. And we have Tim Thompson, who is not our historian, as indicated on this slide, but knows a lot of the history and has been a past president. Yep, you can give it a clap as well. I think that's very deserving. Multiple times president. So to start our show tonight, we want to showcase this incredible image. This is a stellar menagerie captured earlier by the NASA's Hubble Space Telescope. I think most people are familiar with it by now. It's been running for 30 years, I want to say, 35, something like that.
Been on orbit since 1990.
Yep. So a very long time. Yeah. So this is an image of a star-forming region, NGC 1333. This is in the constellation of Perseus. And it's a beautiful assortment of stellar objects. And to the upper left, we have something very special. You might notice there's this kind of little shadow going out in two directions. This is a protostar that is casting its glow. So this is a forming star casting its glow onto a little cloud of gas and dust, and that will create perhaps a little planetary disk at some point. And we also have some very special stars in this image. We have some Orion variable stars. So these are stars that vary in brightness very erratically. They're at the start of their life, and eventually they will come to a stage where they are no longer variable. So a really beautiful image. Some interesting news out from the Hubble Space Telescope recently about the sun affecting it. Of course, you might know we've had a lot of solar activity these past years, active solar cycle, And that can affect the orbit of the Hubble Space Telescope because it experiences drag. So it will need to get some little boosts in order to stay up there where we want it at the right orbit to observe all these beautiful regions in space. Now we're going to start with a very special story, our meteorite in a haystack. Now I want to ask all of you, how many people here have seen a meteor shower? Oh, wow, that's a good, that's pretty, yeah, you're all astronomy people. You're all astronomy, passionate about astronomy. Maybe you've seen, if you haven't seen one, maybe you've seen a very bright meteor once in your life. There are over 100 meteor showers every single year. We get hit by stuff all the time, right? Mostly, these beautiful meteors are caused by these tiny little grains of sand, and they create those beautiful meteors. And more rarely, we get hit by very big rocks. Sad times for the dinosaurs, unfortunately. Didn't make the right investments. Didn't invest in dirt. Wish they had. Sometimes we get hit by medium-sized rocks, right? So this is Meteor Crater in Arizona. This was created by the impact of a roughly 30 to 50 meter, that's 100 to 170 feet sized object. And it created this massive crater. It's about 4,000 feet in diameter. You can see it left the visitor center intact, though, just right next to. God, this joke never gets old. Never gets old.
If you want to see a piece of that meteorite, go check the Edge of Space desk. We have a little surprise.
And here we have something very special that took place in 2013. You are seeing dash cam footage from Russia. And you're seeing probably one of the brightest meteors we may ever see, or certainly one of the brightest ever captured. So this landed on the 15th of February, 2013 in Russia. And fortunately, it landed in an icy lake. We had an enormous, what we call a bolide. It was about the size of a 6-story building, the piece originally. And even though it landed in a lake, it did cause significant damage before it landed, right? There's a lot of energy, shockwave, sound. So this is a local zinc plant that was in the vicinity, and that was damaged by the shockwave. You can see all of that wall that came down here. And these are, of course, many, many windows as well that injured people. So the governor estimated that the damages would cost about 1 billion rubles. So quite a sizable bill. That's about, at the time, that was about $33 million. And 3 days before the 10-year anniversary of this Chelyabinsk meteor, on the 12th of February 2023 at 8:18 p.m. UTC, the Hungarian astronomer Christian Czarnecki discovered a very small asteroid approaching Earth. Now, the object was located at about 233,000 kilometers from our planet, so that's a little more than half of our distance, the distance between the Earth and the Moon, and he reported it to the Minor Planet Center. It was then tracked by other astronomers around the world, and eventually it got the designation 2023 CX1, with an impact predicted 7 hours later. Now, this was only the 7th time in human history that an impact was predicted. And the area of impact was originally predicted to be somewhere around the French-English Channel, and it was then narrowed down to the city of Rouen in northern France. Now, alerts were sent out on social media, urging the public to go out and film it, and it was predicted to land at 3 a.m. UTC with about a 1-minute uncertainty, and eventually that was narrowed down to just a few seconds. Most accurate prediction of its type ever made. That alone deserves really the consideration of this. And it was visible in many, many other European countries when it arrived. The European Space Agency, ESA, mobilized a huge amount of resources for this. And this was really the first large-scale campaign for the targeted observation of a fireball. So not only is it a great way to share science with the public, but it also creates very useful data. Now, I wanted to share this film. This is an astronomer, a French astronomer who's in Australia, whose parents happened to be in Normandy. And so this was the first time this scientist guided his parents to film it. You're going to see appear on the screen, and you can see the time UTC. And he's going to see it appear. And these are his parents who are not scientists. Pretty exciting.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so a very exciting time. This was one of the many, and by the way, the person filming it is also a meteorite expert. So there's a whole line of people who were involved in this. This is his footage. There's lots of videos online where you can also see it. Lots of different footage of it. Again, the wonders of having lots of people observe it. So the entry was detected not only visually, but also through acoustic and seismic signals. So they detected infrasound waves as far away as Russia, thousands of kilometers away. And now they had to find the pieces, right? Was there anything left? So we've only ever had 11 predicted impacts. 4 that led to meteorite recovery, 2 that provided accurate atmospheric data, and only 1 that was an L-chondrite fall. So that's a type of meteorite. And as you can see, many of them do land in the ocean, right? A lot of what hits us, unfortunately, we don't have a way to access it. It lands in the ocean. So you can see we had these 2 in Africa, and then we had these 2 in Europe. Those are the ones that have those little circles around them that were predicted 2023 and 2024. Now, fortunately, the Fripon network, which runs these all-sky cams, they had a protocol in place for about 10 years, waiting for this moment. Fripon, by the way, stands for Fireball Recovery and Interplanetary Observation Network. And this was the one at Paris Observatory when I was a student there in 2014. So you have this beautiful all-sky cam, cloudy sky in Paris. Unfortunately, didn't observe anything that night, although a bright bowl light might be able to be seen through that. So they immediately mobilized about 100 volunteers across several days, again in Normandy, keep in mind this is winter time, to look for pieces. So all these people went through all these fields. You know, a lot of times when we look for meteorites or meteorite hunters, we'll go to deserts because that's a great place where you're able to see these pieces really stick out. That, oof, I would not like to have been looking through that. That looks like a very difficult find. Literal needle in a haystack. And originally, this was a piece that was a 1 meter sized object, but keep in mind, a lot of it will disappear with the friction and the shock wave. And so about 2 days after it fell, this woman who was part of the network found the very first piece right there on the ground, just a little piece in there. And the recovered pieces were immediately sent to a laboratory. So we got to have a fresh piece, unaltered by geological processes, weathering. It's a very rainy part of France. And they recovered over 100 pieces for a total mass of about 3 pounds along a line of about 8 kilometers or 5 miles, right? That's how long all those meteorites were strewn across. Now there's a little bit of a controversy. This is where we get to the dark night of the soul of the story. Oops, let me go back here. So like most science data, I think people don't always realize it's public, right? So a lot of people had access to this, which means that this alerted meteorite hunters. They immediately, many of them, oops, there we go, hold on. There we go. So they immediately flew to France, many of them, in order to catch some pieces, right? And this was a little bit controversial because obviously meteorite hunting is very big business these days. People are selling meteorites for a lot of money. And many of the scientists and the people who are part of those teams looking for the pieces are having to follow protocols, right? They contact local departments. They let people know that they're there, that they're looking for this, and they need authorizations for all of these things. So 2 American meteorite chasers, they found one of the main pieces, and they actually wanted to split it up in tiny pieces to maximize their profits. I, at the time, was told about this, and people were devastated, very upset. And things got so bad, in fact, with all the meteorite chasers coming in, that there were signs in people's yards that were forbidding meteorite hunting. Keep in mind, these are all private properties. There's fields, there's people's yard. And somehow, this is when we have a deus ex machina, the executive producer of the wonderful sci-fi film Moon. Any of you guys seen it? It's a really incredible sci-fi from, I think, 2008. So Bill Bungay is a British executive producer. He saved the day. He actually convinced these people not to split it up and to sell the piece whole to him, and he then loaned it for research for a number of years. So pretty amazing save that happened, and we were able to preserve this piece for research. And in fact, recently a piece appeared on the famous Christie's auction house. It was sold last month. It made $38,000. If you know anything about meteorite prices, we usually value them by gram. And keep in mind, this is one of the most common types of meteorites, a chondrite. And it,
I just have a question when you.
yeah, sure, go ahead.
Well, just what's the scale on that? I don't
Yeah,
see.
so
like,
this
the
is,
size.
in fact, thank you for asking. I have brought something to show all of you.
Oh, show and tell.
It's not a meteorite, it's not a piece of it. We debated getting a piece, and unfortunately we don't have millions of dollars. But to give you an example, this is lava. The piece, this is a 52 grams, so this is about 45 grams of lava. There's a little more air in this. So this is what they got, roughly in size, for those $38,000, right? And usually these meteorites go for about 50 cents to $5 a gram. You're looking at, they paid about $700 per gram, right? So a little bit of an overestimate. I mean, it's incredible. It's an invaluable piece, but it is problematic that researchers unfortunately had limited access to all these other pieces. But you know, they told me they were very impressed by how all the meteorite hunters were able to find all these pieces. So we'll see, but this actually triggered some laws to be considered. So there are laws being written up right now to discuss and to kind of refine the protocol around meteorite ownership, right? Who does it belong to when it's found somewhere? So in the US, I believe there are actually specific laws. I think it's whoever finds it or whoever owns the land. In France, it's a little more complicated, and you also want to make sure that you compensate the people who find it. So that's being discussed right now to make it fair to both the people who find it and the scientists. And this little fragment in particular, you can see it's got a little bit of a crust, and it landed in a tennis court. So pretty fun. I don't know whether it was in or out, but you know.
Somewhere.
And I really want to reinforce the generosity of all these people who donated their time. They found all these pieces and they gave all of the pieces to science, right? They didn't keep those, they gave them all. So it's pretty remarkable they did this. And here is an example of here is the actual strewn field. That is the name we give to how the meteorites were arranged, how they were found. All of this, of course, was carefully noted. And you'll see we've got that blue section. Those are kind of the brick-sized objects. And then we've got different types of objects. We've got also their weight in grams on there. And remarkably, they were able to trace back some pieces to the fragmentation videos. Isn't that incredible? So what you're seeing is a frame of one of those little meteors video, and they were able to trace back which piece went where. I mean, it's just remarkable that we can do this now. So yeah, the blue area here that's shaded, that indicates the landing size of brick-sized objects that weighed a little less than 50 grams. So that's about the piece that I showed you, a little bit less. And that was ejected during the main fragmentation event. Orange and purple region, that's the predicted landing zone for larger fragments. And then spherical shapes. So we've got a lot of different things, and everything was carefully annotated, carefully measured. And by the way, this was the first time that we had data on every single chapter of this event. So Oriane Egal, whom I know, who led this, it was published in Nature Astronomy, and they had analysis of it in space, in the atmosphere, and in a lab from the pieces found on the ground. And the research involved people from all over the world, right? Including right here in Los Angeles at JPL, other institutions in California. So many people involved. You have to when you're doing these kinds of projects. And it really looked at all these different aspects. We're talking astrometry in space, figuring out the orbit, the atmosphere of Earth and how it responded, the geology of the meteorite, infrasound, seismic data, visual observations. And all of this, if you're wondering why we do this, is because it's very important. We don't really understand how asteroids release their kinetic energy in the atmosphere. And one of the most important findings is the resulting shock wave was spherical, not cylindrical. And it released more energy closer to the ground. So 98% of its mass and kinetic energy was released at about 28 kilometers of altitude in 1/10 of a second. And usually the fragmentation is a little more gradual. So this type of fragmentation increases the risk, unfortunately, of significant damage at ground level. Of course, not with this event, but that has a lot of implications for planetary defense. That means all of us on this beautiful planet. So I look forward to other events of this type, but it was a pretty remarkable journey that they achieved all of this. So next we're going to move on to some more rocks in space. We've got our mostest our first mostest of the year. So we're going back to Chile for this one, and to the Vera Rubin Observatory. It had its first light last summer. You may recall we spoke about it a couple of times on the show, and some of the results were presented at the meeting several of us were at last week in Phoenix, Arizona, the AAS meeting, that is the American Astronomical Society. So we got to attend these results. And what's important to note is that the Vera Rubin isn't just looking at stars and galaxies, it can also find asteroids, especially these kind of little ones. So here is one of its first images that indicated the location of about 2,000 asteroids that it detected in just a few days last year. And it discovered a very neat little rock, which was called 2025 MN45. And this is an artist illustration of it. Now, we do want to clarify that asteroids are a little more spaced out in space. This is...
You mean The Empire Strikes Back isn't a documentary?
It's true, I know. We've increased our knowledge since then. But that asteroid is a record breaker. So it's the fastest spinning asteroid over 500 meters wide ever found. So it rotates once every 1.88 minutes. So very, very fast. This is a record for its size class, and rotation, very important. It informs us about the history of that asteroid, its composition. It really challenges our understanding of asteroid structure. It can reveal rapid spins that are possible for large objects. We had not seen this before, and it's pretty surprising because we think many asteroids are what we call rubble piles, right? It's not a very nice name for them, but they're loosely held together. They're these little pieces left over from the solar system's formation, and so there are smaller asteroids that do rotate in under a minute as well, so they're going fast, little fidget spinners. And this is a nice preview of the, do you like that image? Of the many discoveries that will be made by the Vera Rubin Observatory when it comes online, hopefully maybe later this year. And finally, I've got an exciting sunset challenge for you. So
I know where that is.
We all know where that is. Does anyone here not know where that is? Should we direct you to go outside and come back?
Get outside.
So, if you want to go on a little field trip, anyone here ever visited us during an equinox or a solstice?
A few times.
I know you have.
A few times.
Equinox, solstice, yep. We've got some LAAS members. I expect that of you. All right, the rest of you, we will expect you back here on the spring equinox in the end of March. And if you have come here, perhaps even for the lunistis or the lunar standstill events these past 2 years, you may have joined huge crowds on our West Terrace. They came to watch the celestial bodies align with our sunset lines, as you can see here. This is during an equinox, so pretty majestic to get to witness this. Our lines are unique, but we are not the first to pay attention to and to mark these changes. So the position of the sun has long been studied by people all over the world, and there are many structures that have been intentionally built to align with our familiar companions in the sky. Anyone visited Stonehenge? This one is in the United Kingdom. Yep, we've got someone there.
Only at a concert.
Only that's
I saw European Vacation. Is that the Chevy Chase movie where they back into it and it just,
Do they?
knocks them all down?
I am not. I think my reference is Spinal Tap. Was that Jared's reference?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, Spinal Tap.
Yeah.
I went there with a
Jazz
moving
fusion.
truck, believe it or not, when I moved away from the UK. And this is, I actually didn't know this one. This is Angkor Wat in Cambodia. It's one of the most famous alignments. You can see there's a lot of people there for it. And it's believed to be intentional and to represent Mount Meru, which is an important part of the Hindu and Buddhist cosmovision. So you get these different alignments through the year, but that's pretty majestic.
Can I ask a quick technical question?
Yeah.
If any of you or you, when you, like that last shot, you have the sun, and that's hard to, you got to really shut down your aperture to expose for that, but then the thing in front of it is darker. And how do you, how do you accommodate both of those in terms of?
So, I mean, occasionally, in this case, it seems like there's a lot of humidity in the air, I would assume, and I think Cambodia is fairly humid. So it looks like the sky was probably fairly dark when you get that kind of, even though there's light and there's sun, they might have just actually been able to process it in that way. Otherwise, people do 2 shots and then they superimpose them. I don't know, do you have something else to suggest?
Say,
that would be cheating in this case.
You can take a picture of the foreground and then, like you were mentioning, take a picture of the foreground and then put the other image behind it.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I'm
That's
curious if
another
that
way.
was done, that might have been done at 1 shot.
Yeah.
If you've got, if your sky is somewhat dark enough, especially at the start or the end of the day, you might actually be able to get something like this. But yeah, it's an extraordinary shot. And there are many places in the world where these alignments are happy coincidence, such as the very famous Manhattanhenge in New York City. I don't know if the architects, the urban planners of New York had this in mind, but it does occur a couple times a year. So this occurs around May 28th and July 13th, and it's actually one of the most famous of these alignments. And now there is another place where this takes place, not quite as known, Paris. So this image was shot by a professional French photographer that I happen to know a little bit, right before this alignment. And we were able to trace back the date of this photograph to August 4th, 2003, thanks to the sunspots. So when you've got a little bit of maybe humidity and pollution, and you're maybe photographing a sunset, you might be able to catch some sunspots on the sun. So if you look closely, you're able to see a little bit of them. So I went online and compared them and found the exact date. And this alignment is so beloved by the astronomical community that the Paris Observatory actually puts out an ephemeris for it every year. So you'll see there's, I'm sorry, it's in French, but there are a variety of other things that they note, alignments, Jupiter, and the date varies a little bit slightly. So an ephemeris is the set of the calculated positions of a celestial object for a defined date or time period. And so you can see here, we have them in May for a couple of days, and then July, the end of July and August, that is when it lines up, because the sun has a movement, of course, in our skies. It's us moving around the sun, but that is how it lines up. And this is just to show you exactly why, again, why is it not exactly north-south, etc. So you've got a 25-degree angle, and so it was shot from the bottom end of that red line, looking all the way up to the Arc de Triomphe, and you can see the sun right underneath there, setting right in the center. And so you've got, this is another one.
Very cool.
I will say this was shot by my dad, so I'm sorry. It's true, sometimes there's a little favoritism in the pictures we put in this show, but I grew up around this picture, and I managed to miss it 10 years ago, so I'll be trying it again in August. And so I went and did some calculations. I'm sure he appreciates it. And so this is to show you a function that would allow you to do this. I wanted to share this. So if you get the application Stellarium on your phone, it is a favorite of all astronomers. We actually used it when I was in school. Lots of people use it. You can actually press on one of the buttons if you've got a slightly newer phone, and it superimposes the night sky, even the daytime, with what you've got in front of you. So that can allow you to have some adjustments. You got to make sure you don't have, for example, a magnetic phone case, because that can influence your little compass in there. But I went there on the 31st of December. I was home and I tried different dates because the ephemeris was not out yet. And I wanted to make sure, and I got it for the 4th of August. So that's at sunset time around 9:30 p.m. in France, much more farther to the north, and you can see it aligns perfectly. So I'll be trying that in August, but that brings us to you guys. We want all of you, we want to give you an opportunity to try something like this. Find a structure, something that would be awesome to align with the sun, that would make a cool picture. Even if you've just got a phone or something like that, I encourage all of you, and I might post about it online to get people that you're aligning
I'm
the
going to get the mohawk.
Yeah, I think that's a perfect,
Like right on top?
it's a
Yeah.
structure. I think we should do this.
Awesome.
So, if you want to participate in this challenge, we will give you until August, which is when the next alignment in Paris Henge will happen. And you can email us your pictures at allspaceconsidered@gmail.com in honor of the Los Angeles Astronomical Society, who has so many great, amazing astrophotographers. So send in your pictures.
I'm looking at them.
We'll be expecting all of you to send in pictures. Now, Ginger, you have something to share with us. Oh, no, Bill. I'm so
I
sorry,
did?
Bill.
All right. Just make sure my thing's working here, my clicker. Yeah.
There we go.
Oh yeah, okay, so there's this shock wave around a white dwarf. A white dwarf is like the core left over at the end of the life of a star like our sun. And it often is in a binary like this one was. And the ESO Very Large Telescope was what found this, I suppose, because that's what it says there. I just want to say that, first of all, the guy that actually did the research on this is Daniel Perea, who lives in Arizona, so he couldn't join us. But, hi Daniel.
Hi, Daniel.
Great work, by the way. But he says it's always kind of funny that whenever we see, we go looking at a lot of articles, papers and things too, but also just articles for Allspace. And so often it's what this says here. It's like, oh no, wait, wrong one. It did go back twice. Okay. Astronomer surprised, but it might say astronomer shocked.
Flabbergasted.
Yeah, astonished.
Aghast.
And it's like they always have to add an emotional response to astronomers that they've
clutching
never met,
pearls.
probably.
Taken aback. There was some, we looked at a list.
And a lot of this is a surprising one, but we just think that's funny to, it's like,
We go through the archive of new papers and
we should have a bunch of those headlines and put that into the mostest.
we should make a most surprising.
That's right.
That's
That's
our
right.
next
Surprisingest.
So this is
Yes.
a bow shock. That is this white dwarf, which is no longer a star. It's a very hot little thing, and it's just running through material at like the speed of sound or faster. And all of the matter, that it runs into lights up like this, and that's what's going on here basically. But and this is orbiting a star that is sun-like. It's pretty much like our sun, and So it should have like an accretion disk around it, which means the star that it's orbiting would have a bunch of material that's gravitationally being pulled in, but it spins around the star and eventually finds its way into the star. And that would explain this, except there is no accretion disk around the star.
Horror.
I'm shocked. Yes. So there's literally
Wait a minute.
no explanation. This is one of those stories where I can't tell you what the deal is. In fact, what is the next? The next picture is just the. Okay.
Close up. False color images, right? I'm presuming a lot of this is colored for different elements.
Yeah, it could be, but those do represent like hydrogen and a couple of other elements. And I don't know if that's like an infrared or something. I don't know how they actually.
Usually
took
there's a
this.
combination. I don't know what they were shooting on. I think it's an instrument
But
in Chile.
the one thing that's their little lead into figuring why this thing is running into all this material that shouldn't be there is that it is magnetic. The white dwarf is actually magnetized, and so therefore. It could be drawing material somehow that that is not streaming off the star, which is normally how you would explain this. So we'll keep an eye on this and tell you if we find any anything else about it, and maybe it's a whole new kind of process that they haven't figured out yet that is happening out there in space. So
Pretty exciting.
yeah. So on to the next one. Who's this?
And this is our this is the white dwarf star that I believe this is an artist.
Okay.
Sketch of the white dwarf star.
Constellation Auriga.
Yeah. So okay.
So if you want to go looking for it.
Yeah, that's right. So this is 730
Your
light years
telescope.
from Earth in the
Gotta be a
constellation
big
Auriga. Okay, so
Let's
moving on. I'm technically challenged.
Double
here.
click it.
There we go.
Okay, there it is.
Oh,
Got a
wow.
nice
This
little,
Now I don't
image.
yet. This was added sort of after I had set this whole PowerPoint up, so I'm not sure what the flashing is exactly here.
It's a superimposition of
okay, so they're
superimpose
showing
the
you-
image, so the image without certain filters added to basically show
Yeah.
this kind of outflow, this bow
I got
shot
it.
that we've got here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
find
hopefully
that,
we get good answers or pictures from the upcoming extremely large telescope. This
That's
is
right.
shot by
But
the very
yes.
large telescope,
Yeah.
and this is why you need to keep giving us money to build bigger telescopes.
Yeah, the
Yes.
next one will be the even bigger telescope.
That's right.
Overwhelmingly
Overwhelmingly
large.
And it'll be in Chile, because they all are.
Currently under construction in Chile.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's pretty exciting. And next we've got something about what's happening with the Mars sample
Yeah,
return, Bill.
this is very sad. This is very sad to me. So this is all about, I don't know if you remember the Mars sample return, we've covered it in the past. It's the Perseverance rover has gone far and wide, roved all over the place, and picked up collected samples and put them into tubes, and we'll show you that in just a second, and then dropped them in a particular place. This went backwards for the I don't want to go. Yeah. Anyway, and so all of this stuff is this. I call it Mishigas. Is like the way that it would have to be brought back. Like the rover would have to transfer the stuff to that other smaller rover, which then comes over to the structure in the bottom right, and that has a rocket on it that loads the stuff into the rocket, and the rocket goes off into orbit around Mars, and then it hooks up with another thing flying up there and transfers that over and then comes home. What could go wrong? So, and as I said, there have been cost overruns. So I kind of understand why that they haven't, they did unfund this one, but it makes me very sad. And here's why. This guy Jim Bell, I want to go back. Why does it keep going?
Here, I
I'm
got
not
you.
hitting the button. So Jim Bell is a planetary scientist, and he sat right there, and he actually presented too, and it was really interesting listening to him.
He was our
But
guest
this
in
is-
October, right?
In October last year,
yep.
yeah. And he said, here's a quote. He said, "The reality is, scientifically, the first samples to come back, like from this, whatever they are, from wherever they are, keeps going forward, from wherever they are going to massively increase our scientific knowledge of Mars." And I remember asking him when he was here, is there something, a compound of some sort, probably a carbon compound, that you could find in one of these Mars samples that would be pretty much like slam dunk, yes, this had biological origin, it wasn't originated, from geology. Some kind of biological life process had to have made this thing. And he said, yes, we have those things. And if we find them, that will be something. And this is a picture of all the sample collection tubes. You can see the variety, so it's not like they picked up the same dirt from everywhere. All kinds of different minerals and things going on in there, and I'm just very sad. That's all.
But
Because
hopefully
it's-
another plan eventually comes to light. Maybe
Yeah.
somebody else picks up our samples. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's legal.
And just to point this out as well, this is the second time Mars sample return has been canceled. It was also canceled in the early 90s
Yeah.
as well. So.
Oh,
And it's been
okay.
it's been in the works for a long time.
But now they've got the samples.
And we should clarify,
know?
we need them on Earth. This isn't just like we want to look at them.
The rovers are fairly sophisticated, but they can't do what you can do in a lab. They can't do the kind of testing, the kind of find the kinds of things that you could find in a lab setting. So we have to wait until
I mean, China will likely get a sample. I believe, around the year 2030, 2031, they were planning on having a sample return.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll see. I hope they get one.
And I have to say that I had the idea that if we could cooperate with China, that they could do the mission and then say, you keep half and we keep half. And then we can both study all these same samples. But everybody laughs at me when I say that.
There are treaties that unfortunately currently NASA is not allowed to work.
Actual laws from
the
Congress.
Wolf, I think
The
the
Wolf
Wolf.
Amendment
Yep.
does not allow us to collaborate with China.
What about the French
Unfortunately,
labs?
but they do collaborate with Europe. There are a couple
Yes.
missions that have collaborated, China and Europe. So maybe they can work something out.
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll just
do an end run around Europe or something.
And we've
around-
abandoned all of our medical samples on some surface, and we're just
Yeah.
waiting for someone to pick them up. Well,
I'll do
thank
it.
you.
Road trip, anyone?
I
I mean,
love to
I'll
go.
go do it.
So we'll
I
see
need a lot
what
of
happens.
Cheez-Its, but I'll do it.
So thank you for this update, as sad as it may be, but hopefully
Yeah.
we come up with another plan at some point soon. Ginger, I believe
Yeah.
you have some pretty
Do.
pictures for us.
Well,
Special edition?
Special edition because we have our lovely guest, the Los Angeles Astronomical Society, here tonight with us. So I have asked for the LAS members to send their astrophotography images, and we made a compile of all of the fantastic images that everyone has taken. So starting off with this first one, this is M45, the Pleiades, also known as the Seven Sisters, or the Subaru logo. Anyone? Subaru? Do we have any Subaru fans?
Astronomers are only allowed to drive Subarus.
That's
Yes.
kind of been my motto.
Rally driving.
So this is a star cluster in the constellation Taurus. It's located about 444 light years from Earth. It's mainly hot, very hot type blue stars reflection nebula. One of my favorites. It's gorgeous. We have this next
Amazing
one. This was
picture.
submitted by Ian Held. Thank you for sending this in. And this is 5,000 light years away from Earth. It's the Rosette Nebula. I love the colors on this. And also, fun fact, while I was reading about this, it is the official state astronomical object of Oklahoma.
Okay.
So now I might have to throw this in each month. California, we have the California Nebula.
Is this our next
gonna be-
political demand? We need to get this on the ballot. California Nebula officially.
Right.
Arizona has a state planet. Dwarf
See, I didn't know
planet,
that either,
but,
so that's cool.
There's
Learn
not
something
enough, not enough planets in the solar system for every state, but
Yes. Okay, then we have this next one. I hope I don't mess up the name. Ben Guthrie. Guthrie.
Guthrie.
Okay.
Yeah, like the
Sorry. This is M1, the Crab Nebula. Love the colors on this one. This is a supernova remnant in the constellation Taurus, located about 6,500 light years away. And I was reading a little bit about this. So this famous name of the Crab Nebula was first suggested from a drawing that resembled a crab by William Parsons. And that was in 1842 when he used a 36-inch telescope. And I actually saw the drawing. I might have to put it in another show. It's very interesting. Okay, this one's cool too.
Couldn't believe that was a real image.
That's astonishing.
So yeah, this is the Shark Nebula.
Not AI.
I know. It's a dark nebula. So it's often really difficult to process dark nebula. And in this case, you actually can see the stars. You have all that really thick dust there that you see as well. So this was by John Hester. Thank you for sending that in. Anybody recognize this one?
Yeah.
It's our lovely Messier 16 Eagle Nebula, Pillars of Creation, also known as the Star Queen Nebula. I hadn't heard that variation of it, but this is 7,000 light years away in the constellation Serpens. Mission Nebula. The pillars itself stretch about 4 to 5 light years tall.
Wow.
So.
Wow.
And this is all
too.
shot on amateur telescopes, right?
Yes, yeah.
Not
So this was a
observatories.
Celestron Edge HD11.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Very cool. I would name out all the equipment and the filters on each of these, but we don't have all night, and so. But it's one of my favorite things to look at. So Monkey Head Nebula, this is submitted by Crystal Davy, and this is in the constellation Orion. And actually, I didn't know this one. This is 6,400 light years away, and pretty cool.
I think it's a pretty bright object. I've seen it a couple times. I think it gets a little bit of,
I was trying to figure out where it is
So
in the constellation. Then
Classics.
here's a classic, M31 Andromeda Galaxy, 2.5 million light years away. It's the nearest major galaxy to the Milky Way, and
Getting closer every day, too. Right?
I know.
Well,
Look out.
Now there's new studies out. It might not actually. We might not actually.
Might not collide, but
milkshake
I think it's going to
tomorrow.
get close, though.
It's going to get close, but we may not have a collision. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I was looking forward to Milk Drama.
It's a
I
Cannonball
know. Yeah.
Galaxy.
You know, people have called the observatory. I will vividly remember a call that someone. You can call us, by the way, and ask us science questions. The desk that you see at the top there is call at any time, not in the middle of the night, and we're out looking at things. But call, ask us questions, and someone called when I was there and said, so if I'm sitting in my living room during the Andromeda Milky Way collision, what will it feel like to me? And it was just profoundly wonderful that someone called to ask this. I don't think we'll be around.
Can I say something very quickly about that?
Living rooms may not be
Stars
around.
are so far apart that
Yep.
when two of these, two galaxies collide and do their whole dance, it's very unlikely that any two stars will hit each other.
Yeah.
So there's really nothing to worry about, I think.
So I don't think there'll be
And
living
it's also-
rooms anymore at that
Yeah,
time. But,
I've heard anywhere from an average of 6 to 20 stars.
Yeah.
That's it, on average.
Well, keep your eyes open.
You never know. Galaxies can sneak up on.
I
did
hope it has
wanna-
insurance.
I did want to point out that this image also, I think, was taken at a Bortle 8 or 9. So it's fair. Then we're in the
Wow.
city. So if you don't know the Bortle level, it's a map of light. It's a light pollution map. You can actually look it up. I think you can use like lightpollution.com, and you can look up the Bortle level of the city that you're in. So if
That
you're,
is
it's-
garbage.
So you
Scott.
said this was
I mean,
taken
we
during
are
a heavy-
sadly in a Bortle 9 here.
I'm
Pretty
Yeah.
sure we're in a 9.
Bad.
We're going for
Yeah.
10.
But you can shoot images like this.
Right.
What did you say?
See, we're going for 10.
No cause for violence towards lighting.
No,
urban
I'm
lighting.
kidding, I'm totally-
I think
Yeah.
a Bortle 10 would
Well-
be the sun.
I think that's Bortle
A lot.
50.
Yeah.
Bortle a lot.
We'll get to those images. All right, so this one, I love this one. Rafael Gonzalez submitted this one. This is Melotte 15, the Fish Head Nebula. So this is actually the center of the Heart Nebula. So if you know the Heart Nebula and then just the Soul Nebula, it is the center, and you can kind of see the fish shape and the little strands of like the fish tails.
Yep.
And this is 7,000 light years away in the constellation Cassiopeia.
There's some cool details sometimes when you zoom in. I've zoomed in on nebula and I found a claw.
Right,
I
yeah.
was
yeah.
pretty excited.
Didn't know that was the center of that nebula. Then we have, this is a great one too. This is taken on an iPhone 15 in night photo mode. So you can be an astrophotographer even if you have a cell phone. And
by Spencer, who I think is here tonight.
Yeah.
oh yes, Spencer.
Good job, Spencer.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for work.
Great shot.
So
Very
a great example of a lovely iPhone shot.
Don't be limited, by not having expensive equipment.
Yes. Then this one, NGC 7331. This is with the LAS Robotic Observatory at Lockwood. This was by Karim El-Mahmoudi. Sorry, pronunciation. This is also known as Caldwell 13, the unbarred spiral galaxy. And I think the arrow is pointing at the supernovae that have been discovered in the center of that galaxy. So
Pretty amazing.
cool.
Last year, right? I think we discussed this was last year.
Yes.
Yep. There's about one supernova per galaxy per century, I believe, is the rough statistic on that. So you said there had been 4.
Yes, there had been 4 confirmed.
Yeah,
discovered.
That's right.
All right, this is another popular one, the Triangulum Galaxy. It is, I think, what's in the constellation Triangulum? That makes sense.
Yeah. doesn't have a supermassive black hole at the center, it's thought, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that's right.
It does not?
Does not.
That's weird.
Yeah. So it's not just spirals are shaped by more the shape of the galaxy is not just what's at the center. So it could have lost its black hole in a collision, in a merger. There's lots of different theories.
A lawsuit.
Lawsuit, that's true. Galaxies get sued more often than we think.
Oh my goodness. This one is M16, the Eagle Nebula, and Comet, the Swan Comet, and this was taken by Eric Lejestrand. This is approximately 81 minutes of integration with a sea star, so in mosaic mode, which is pretty cool. I like this one.
That's awesome.
And then, lovely shot from our wonderful David Pinsky. Thank you so much for submitting this. This image was taken here at the observatory.
Yeah.
That's correct, yeah. And this was on January 11th, so just a few days ago.
Yeah, that structure that you see there is this sun pillar. So this is caused usually by little crystals up in the clouds. We actually there was one on the day of our last show. I stopped Ginger. I was like, please stop the car.
She got out of the car. Yes.
It's beautiful.
Oh, whoopsie, sorry. Okay, this is another solar image taken with a Lunt 100 millimeter telescope, and this was by Michael Jackson.
Not the same.
Not the singer.
He wasn't into astronomy.
Yeah. This is cool, though. It reminded me of the celestat, looking at the celestat, and sometimes we see birds or we see planes flying in front of us.
If you're ever here during the day, go up to our
to
our celestat, and you'll see this beautiful image of the sun. And sometimes, especially later in the day, you'll see those planes. And those
Definitely a 737 there.
Shot, by the way, on this type of telescope that you see right next to
that's
Jared.
right. I love
This
right
is a
there.
Lunt, so solar telescopes. Thank you. This is we've pivoted to the sales part of our. No, please don't sell my equipment.
All right, and I love this one. It's just a few days ago. Hubble released this one on January 12th. This is the Hubble Spies stellar blast setting clouds ablaze. And so these young, massive stars blasting streams of gas into space called jets, and they're super powerful, and they light up like fireworks. It's very neat to look at. And then this is, of course, one of our cover image here. Just wanted to throw that in as it's a pretty picture for the month. And then our last one, this is another Hubble and Webb. This was released on January 13th, and it is a nearby spiral galaxy located about 13 million light years away. You'll see there's a little box saying Webb, and that shows just a close-up of the galaxy's core. So there's a lot of hot dust and material that's feeding that supermassive black hole in the center of that galaxy. So pretty neat shot. I love this one. And,
all right, and we'll before we get into Out to Launch with Jared, we actually stole a little bit of his thunder. Ginger and I attended a launch. So we were at the AAS in Phoenix last week, and one of the plenary talks, these are really big talks, by Eugenia Shkolnik was discussing a variety of exoplanet missions. So these are missions that are looking for perhaps the atmospheres or the planets themselves around other stars, right? We're looking at other solar systems now. And there was a great point made about these tiny little missions. Sure, they don't cost as much as the James Webb or others, but they get a lot of work done. And so 2 of those missions, the Sparks mission and the Pandora, and some of them are basically almost like little CubeSats. They're about this big, they can fit in a backpack, and they were being launched a couple days later from Vandenberg. So we got straight back to LA and then headed to Vandenberg. You were still there in spirit, Jared, because we had discussed.
Thank you. Yeah.
Many years ago, we had discussed how to see these launches. So you can, of course, you cannot go to the Vandenberg Air Force Base, but you can actually go near it. If you're ever in Florida, I had seen a launch from there. It was pretty spectacular. I will say, even though the day launches sometimes might be more popular, it's always impressive to see how bright it is when there is a night launch. So we headed out in the middle of the night. The launch time was, they had Eastern time. The launch was officially, the window was opening at 5:19. So we left Los Angeles about 2 in the morning and got to see the launch. And I shot this, and I honestly, the launch happens, it's very bright, and then it dims. And then I remember looking and being like, I know I'm sleep deprived, but it honestly made me think of this. For anyone who's seen this, is a wonderful sci-fi film. Nope, I forget the name of the director. He's directed Get Out and other really, really amazing films. And, well, I don't want to spoil what's happening here, but Jared, please tell me
Can I
what,
just ask very quickly, is that all true color?
The alien?
That?
Or the
Yes. Are the
Yes.
Yeah, there were.
So yes, this is true color, believe it or not.
Yeah.
I hardly
This is
altered
true
this
color.
image, and hence my confusion. And
wow.
Jared, tell us what's happening.
I will
So
say
I've-
it wasn't just before. It wasn't very easy to see with your eye, those
Yes.
colors. It definitely came through more on
And
the
at
camera.
night you see in black and white, so that's also why aurora images are always brighter than you might. So the colors were not that visible to the naked eye, but camera got them.
So was this a return to launch site?
No,
mission?
it was the launch of. So
It did.
possibly
Did the
was that
booster come back and
Yes, the
land?
booster did come
Okay.
back.
We were like,
So-
what's that? What's that noise?
So what happens here with the return to launch site is that they have to turn the first stage booster around immediately and fire the engines in order to slow the booster down and actually have it gain altitude and then come back on a trajectory to land at Vandenberg. So it goes up, it goes sideways, and then it makes this sort of big hard turn and then comes right back down.
Wow.
So what you're seeing here is you're actually seeing the exhaust from the first stage firing into the exhaust from the second stage and interacting with the plume.
Okay.
Very important to remember that the exhaust coming out of a rocket engine is quite literally essentially plasma. It's charged. So it just goes ham when they connect together, and they have a really good kind of color party happening in the sky there. And I've seen this several times myself in person. It's been to over 20 launches at Vandenberg, and it really does. Like, I would even say that these photos are great, but it still doesn't pop like it really does to you in person there.
Is it as colorful in the daytime?
So in the daytime, you don't really see it.
Okay.
You kind of see like a very faint cloud all of a sudden. But really during the daytime, it's almost nearly impossible to catch a booster right up until landing burn. Then you can kind of see the booster at that point.
Okay, well, we need to bring you along next time. We want
I'm game.
we want a detailed commentary of everything that's happening.
Yeah, and there's Lompoc Donuts up there is open
Oh,
24 hours.
we didn't
so
know about
that's-
that.
We didn't know about that.
It's another reason for me to go, and I know that because it's pretty much the only bathroom that's also open up
In the air, yep.
as well. So
All right, well, we'll officially get into our out to launch section. Do you have a clicker? Jared?
I'll take a clicker if we got a clicker.
Fantastic.
You need a clicker, take a clicker. All right, so we probably remember about 6 months ago that the White House, the budget proposal for NASA pretty much slashed just about everything involved with it. Literally half of NASA's astrophysics division and a third of NASA's planetary science missions were going to be it. That's it. Not like winding down, like immediately cut. Thousands of employees were going to be laid off. The budget was originally $25 billion, and the White House proposal was $18 billion, so that was a huge amount to lose. But I'm very happy to report that Congress has said nope, just like our alien earlier, nope. So the minibus from Congress is going to not quite at that level that was originally there, but we're also not going to lose any major missions like we were going to. So about $24.4 billion. And also just, it's a bill. Like we have here today. So that's the actual bill if you'd like to
Chandra was going to be, I think is that the image?
Yeah, so the Chandra X-ray telescope was going to be completely
really
axed
important.
with no replacement ready to go either. And it's one of the great observatories, a multi-billion-dollar flagship mission with nothing to fill in the gap in X-ray space telescopes. So
very important for high energy physics.
Yeah, it would have been quite literally tragic, and would have set science in the United States back at least a generation if that budget had been passed. Easily a generation, but luckily Congress, the White House proposes, but Congress is the one who divvies up the money, and Congress said no. So there you go. Now, a lot of us probably heard about this story, which was with the Crew 11 crew, which we have all four of the astronauts here, which just allowed me to introduce you to all of them, with Commander Zena Cardman, who's down in the bottom right there, Pilot Michael Fink, who's over on the left in the bottom as well, Mission Specialist Kamiya Yu, from the Japanese Aerospace Exploration Agency in the standing top right, and then Mission Specialist Oleg Platonov from Roscosmos over there on the left. Now, you may have heard of this mission because last week there was supposed to be a spacewalk, but it was canceled because a medical situation occurred on the International Space Station, to the point that whatever happened to this astronaut, they had to be stabilized for that. And last week, Jared Isaacman, who we can also now report is officially the administrator of NASA, he publicly came out to basically announce that this was occurring. There was a presser with him, the chief medical officer at NASA as well, to basically talk about it, basically say that the astronaut's medical condition had been stabilized to the point that the astronaut could stay on, but they had made the decision to go ahead and do a medical evacuation, or we call an early return. So not an emergency return, because the life of the astronaut was not in danger, but through an abundance of caution, essentially the medical equipment on the International Space Station was not sufficient enough to handle the actual emergency. They wanted to bring that astronaut home, and a hospital would be a much more appropriate place. But the astronaut was stable on flight. It was safe enough for them to stay on board, and safe enough for them to return as well. So yesterday, Crew Dragon Endeavour, all four of the astronauts got inside and came home. And I want to ask our audience, did anybody stay up to actually watch it and see that? Because if you were in California last night, you were actually able to witness the re-entry of Crew Dragon Endeavour. So this was taken by Tracy Simmons up in the Bay Area, and literally the entire coast of California was treated to this glow of watching four people sitting inside of a spacecraft surrounded by 3,500 degree Fahrenheit plasma as they're coming in.
Did you mention Orion up there?
Yeah, and I want to point out too, up in the right corner is the Orion, the constellation Orion, and maybe a little bit of the Orion Nebula there too.
It's impressive for a Bortle, 9 as well?
Yeah, somewhere up there. This is west side of the peninsula, so a little bit darker than say San Francisco proper. But
if you're online, let us know if you saw it as well.
Yeah, I went out and saw it. I was blown. There's very few things that have ever left me speechless, and that was one of them.
It was a couple minutes early. It was because I think it was planned at about 40 minutes past midnight.
Yeah.
I saw it about 35, and I ran outside and I saw the time.
I don't know if anybody in the audience or you watching at home did this too, but I also stayed outside as well, because I was like, people had told me we heard the sonic boom of a cargo dragon returning last year, so I stayed outside and I heard the boom. And did anybody in here hear the boom at all? How would you describe it?
I think it lasted about a second. It was weirdly long for me.
Yes, it was.
We were down with Keith, and we were right and so the sound of the ocean competed with it.
Yes, so I heard it was definitely like a boom. like a distant boom, and that like lizard part of my brain was like, "This is bad, man, get out." And the thing that blew my mind about it was I heard like every window and every loose car part in my neighborhood just rattle for a second with it. It was almost like what I imagine an earthquake would sound like outside.
One of the comments on Reddit was saying, "Why do they always have to do this in the middle of the night?"
So wake you up. So tax dollars at work.
That's right.
We had our splashdown, and the crew is home now, and they are safe. So we're very glad to have all of them back with us. So yay, worked out pretty good for them. Now we do want to also talk about Artemis 2 coming up as well too. We're talking about missions in this out to launch, which we've got 4 astronauts going on this mission too. We've got Commander Reed Weissman, who's sitting in the middle right there. The pilot Victor Glover, who's standing in the back. Mission specialist Christina Koch, who's standing over there on the left, and also mission specialist Jeremy Hansen, who's standing there on the right. Now, some special things to note in this: Victor Glover, the pilot's going to be the first person of color to go to the moon. Christina Koch over there on the left is going to be the first woman to go to the moon. And then Jeremy Hansen, standing over there on the right, is actually going to be the first non-American to go to the moon because he's from the Canadian Space Agency. And that is their spacecraft right there, which is called Integrity. So
Interesting. That's a good name.
So the astronauts that you mentioned, when you say go to the moon, do you mean go around the moon in this mission?
Yeah.
But what about, are any of these going to set foot on the moon?
So Artemis 3 is supposed to be the mission that is supposed to be landing on the moon, and there is no word on who the crew is going to be yet. There are some rumors out there, and the rumors that I have seen at least are like the astronauts who would be walking on the moon makes a lot of sense to me because of the experience that they have and the professionalism.
Any rumors of Europeans on it? Because Europe is a partner and paid for the module, and I was surprised.
I was just about to say, the capsule is the Orion capsule from NASA, but that service module you see right there actually comes from the European Space Agency. So it's a partnership that we have there. So I would imagine
usually
Artemis
there's a negotiation, of having people.
For Artemis 3, we'll probably most certainly have a European on board.
My bet is on Thomas Pesquet, the French
yes,
astronaut.
that would be great. I'd love to hear what wake-up song he would throw on there as well. So if you don't know what we're talking about, look up Thomas. With his wake-up song that he chose for his Crew Dragon mission. It was hilarious.
Old Air France pilot, by the way, who's kind of our star astronaut.
Yeah, pretty cool dude. Also, this is what they're going to be riding, the Space Launch System, a 322-foot tall super heavy lift rocket, absolutely massive. They're putting some nice paintings on it now. It's not just going to be the worm logo there on the solid rocket boosters for it, but it's also going to be the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. So congratulations, America. You're getting a rocket. So look under your seats, everybody.
Some big birthday candles.
Yeah, those are some big candles. In fact, they are the largest solid rocket boosters that have ever flown. They are derived from the shuttle solid rockets boosters. But instead of 4 segments, it's 5 segments. So you get an extra segment if you want to go to the moon. They're about 3.6 million pounds of thrust each. So that means an overall amount of thrust about 9 million pounds once you include the 4 RS-25E engines at the bottom as well. So they're gonna be cooking once they launch.
So is this set up pretty much the way Apollo was, where you had the crew capsule in front and the command module behind and engines and stuff,
So not with this mission. Well, I would say this mission is more like Apollo 8, where Apollo 8 was the first crewed flight of Saturn V, and they flew.
I just meant structurally the way. I can actually kind of see the answer to my question that the engines are on the bottom and you got. Obviously the crew capsule on the top.
Yes. Yeah. So it's kind of set up in that similar fashion. The lunar module is not going to be attached to this rocket. The lunar module, the human landing system, there are 2 of them. One is the Starship Super Heavy, the Starship component, the upper stage of that SpaceX rocket, which should hopefully be having Flight 12 pretty soon, but they got a long way to go before they're going to be demonstrated. They've said at some point this year they're going to demonstrate a human landing system vehicle on the moon, but we'll see. good luck.
I volunteer as troops.
So yeah, I take the ride. And then also Blue Origin is building their own human landing system as well, which actually at some point in the next couple months they're supposed to be doing their first flight of a system that is similar to that. It's their own Pathfinder landing system, which will be the biggest thing that's ever landed on the moon. It's 3 times the mass and twice the size of the Apollo lunar module. So we'll see how that does. They're doing cargo with that initially, but it is supposed to be have a crew variant for one of the Artemis missions. But we'll see what happens with that. But your launch windows, here they are, February, March, and April. The first one coming up is supposed to be February 6th, a Friday. It'll be 6:41 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here. So interestingly, only 2 of these days in the launch windows are during the day. The rest of them are all at night.
Middle of the night, or is this
evening into the middle of the night into the early a.m. And I think that's so interesting because during the Apollo program with the crewed launches, only one of those was at night, Apollo 17. So we're taking the opposite here. We're doing all of them at night, apparently.
Is there, I presume, a technical reason in terms of the orbit?
Yeah, the orbit of the moon and what we're trying to see and testing feasibility of systems and other things on the spacecraft, because this is a crewed flight, but also at the same time, this is a shakedown of the spacecraft as well.
And All Space Considered would like to go. We're trying to see if we can, we don't really have a budget for it, but we will be contacting the powers that be to see if we can go. I went to the Artemis 1 launch and it was scrubbed. So that's the other thing, is that these launches, they really, every precaution, if there's the slightest thing, doesn't launch. And so there's a lot of dates. A friend of mine got picked to go, and I was kind of wondering when they tell them or et cetera, but I'm guessing they just put them on a flight. And,
just a few weeks ago is when we found out about the actual, there had been an overall target, but just a few weeks ago is when we found out the actual times.
Next week, maybe next month we'll get to talk about it.
Yes, and it's so exciting because this is the first time humans have been to the moon since 1972.
Incredible.
This is the first time ever in my life that I'm going to hear "Go for TLI," and it's going to be actual people replying, "Copy, go for TLI." I'm so excited. You should be too.
We may have some events at Griffith Observatory. Those are still, I don't want to advertise things that haven't been fully settled yet, but that may happen here.
TLI is translunar injection, which is basically you are going to burn your engine to leave Earth orbit and go to the moon.
Wow.
Although in this case, what they're going to do, they're going to launch. They're going to go into high Earth orbit, which if they do complete one orbit, this will officially be the record for highest altitude reached on an orbit around the Earth, because it's literally going to take 24 hours for them to go around the Earth once.
Oh, wow.
Not 90 minutes. So they're going high up. And then after that, they're going to fire the engine on the European service module. They're going to put themselves on a free return trajectory, which basically means that it'll take them about 4 days to get out to the moon. The moon's gravity will bend them back. They really won't have to do anything, just the gravitational pull of the moon will slingshot them around, and they'll be 4 days back to the Earth.
Wow.
So about a 10 to 11 day mission. We'll see how long it actually takes, depends upon launch days and things like that. Really the only concern that we have is the heat shield, which is a bit of a big concern. But on Artemis 1, which this is the heat shield of the Artemis 1 Orion capsule, you can see those streaks right there. That's actually damage to the heat shield. It's not supposed to have I almost call it like carved out streaking like that. But they think they fixed it. They think they figured out what the problem is. So it has been given the stamp of approval, so full speed ahead for Artemis 2. This is an actual image that was taken during Artemis 1 of the moon and the Earth in the background. And I'm really hoping that during Artemis 2, we can get an image exactly like this, except in that small window in the bottom right there, we have a really happy-looking person waving at the camera. So that'd be pretty great.
Also, in Apollo days, they had somebody in the command module, and then the people who went down to the surface.
Yes.
Are they doing the same thing here?
So they are not landing here. We're just going to the moon and back
I know.
around.
For Artemis 3.
When they do land.
But for Artemis 3, it's sounding like they're going to have 2 people stay on the Orion capsule, and 2 people will go down in the human landing system, whichever one that happens to be.
So great. Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Jared. We're all burning with excitement, honestly. We could be back to the moon by our
I can't wait.
We're excited.
It's the moon.
So we're going to welcome now our guests officially to celebrate our centennial. So if I can have Keith Armstrong, wonderful president, and of course, we've got preparations. Woo! Yep. And Tim Thompson. Please join us.
Oh, you're right. Oh, man.
No, I
Awesome.
decided
Oh, wow.
I would join. We should all. Astronomy is a long tradition, I think, of capes and of wizardry. I think we all. I keep wondering if we're all trying to be wizards in astronomy, and I think Dr. Krupp is also a good indication of this. I think there's been. I don't know. Have you guys ever wizarded off?
We haven't compared coats, but if he has the same one he used to have, mine is about 10 pounds lighter.
Okay, that's a pretty good comparison. Keith, obviously you are our current president, so we thought we should crown you. You were reelected recently.
As it happens, yeah.
Thank you for your leadership endlessly.
I'll treasure it always. Also going to the archive.
It's a moonarchy.
So, welcome officially to the Los Angeles Astronomical Society. Thank you for being here. And we want to talk a little bit about what the club is about, what resources you have. So I'll actually hand you. Let me hand you a little. Somewhat. You got a clicker?
Got one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Take it away if you want to kind of tell us.
I will take it away. First of all, club, thank you for coming.
Woo!
I see a lot of familiar faces out here. We got hands waving. Bryce, where are you at? I saw you. Where'd you go, Bryce? He's out here somewhere.
Bryce, he's here.
Yeah, he's in the club. There he is. Yeah. All right. And we got three presidents here. We have Gio sitting right here. Everybody give it up to Gio.
Yo.
Tim, do you count as like three presidents?
I was elected president 12 times, but I only count as one. Thank you. Gio, however, counts as two because he's the biggest man we have.
That's true. That's true. I can only hope to grow into that shadow. He looked at me when I got here today, and he was like, "I just want to hear what you have to say."
Is there competition amongst presidents going on?
No, it's more like a standard bearing. You know,
I like it.
Yeah, I like it. You know, it's good. Keeps me in line.
All right. Well, if you want to tell us a little bit about what is
Yeah.
we have one of our board members here,
we got-
Shane Winter, I believe.
No, so all right. We'll get into it a little bit here. So can I back it up? Let's see. Is my clicker even doing it?
Is it? It might be
on the
it might be locked.
Here,
if you push
you wanna
up
try?
the side button.
Try that one. I know that one's working.
There we go. Okay, so we are a group of amateur astronomers from all walks of life, everything. The only thing that we have in common, more specifically, is our passion for astronomy, and I'm going to say even a little bit for each other. Yeah. I like to say that we are a social club with a penchant for astronomy, and I think that bears a lot of fruit. I mean, we're friends.
We're friends. I think everyone.
It's
I don't
whole
think
thing.
everyone. There's a lot of members now, right?
Yeah, we crossed the 1,200 member mark.
Which potentially makes LAAS the biggest astronomy club in America.
I'm going to call it. Can we go on record?
Can we? Oh, I think we can go on record.
All right, we're the biggest amateur astronomy society ever. Ever?
Woo! We've been waiting for this moment.
Yeah.
Patiently
We'll say it.
recruiting
We'll say it.
people.
Yeah.
Who's the second? Is it Denver? I think.
Nobody.
We're undefeated
Who cares?
champion.
Who cares?
Laura, you're on the board too, aren't you?
Vice President. Vice President.
Wait,
That's not a secret. I stood right here during our general meeting and called
There's
it out.
power up here.
There's
Got the president,
power.
the vice president.
Yeah, we got the secretary right here.
We're ready to
We might
take
take
the
executive
coup.
decisions. Anything could happen tonight.
I know, well, we have Greg Thompson not here as our designated survivor. That's important.
But we have a lot of people in this club, but we also have a lot of observatories.
That's
one
right.
of the really
We
cool
operate
things.
out of here. Actually, this used to be our home base in the basement here. We had a telescope making lab down here, and then we got kicked out.
During the renovation, or was it somewhere
We
on
just
that
partied
time?
too hard.
That's right. That's
He
right.
was the director prior to Krupp.
Ah, okay. Well, sure, Dr. Krupp would have allowed it, but you know.
course. And you know, with all of these members and all of these observatories, we keep ourselves really busy. We're doing a minimum of 10 events per month. And to that end, currently as we speak, we're doing 2 other things happening right now. So a shout out to those at Star Party Silver Lake right now.
Woo! Thank you for being out there.
Yay!
Yeah.
And we're doing an outreach for kids in South Pasadena right now as well.
Awesome.
So we are spread out.
A lot of people.
We're doing the most. We're doing the
So
most.
there's about 10 events per month? Is that, gosh,
Minimum.
Minimum, yeah.
Minimum.
So there's a lot going on. If you need a social network of other people who like to look at the night sky, it's a good thing to join. We have a special, kind of our base location, I want to say.
Yeah, so this would be our HQ, Garvey Ranch Observatory, and for the description, I'll go to Tim here as the director of the observatory, and who basically is an appendage of it at this point.
I've been an astronomer at Garvey Ranch Observatory for 50 years now. And it's the only other municipally owned observatory around here that I know of. It's actually owned by the city of Monterey Park and originally operated by the Monterey Park Astronomical Society, of which I was the last president. And when there were only 3 of us left in the entire society, the city decided we needed a little more help running the observatory, and brought in the Los Angeles Astronomical Society. And so, of course, being very jealous of my observatory, I became president of that group too, because that's, like that. So this is the place you go. We're there every Wednesday night. If you say maybe somebody gave you a telescope for Christmas, and you're looking at it and going, what's this? What do I do with this? Bring it there, and we can show you how to make use of it. You can come there and learn how to make your own telescope. You can come there and talk to a bunch of people about astronomy. Learn how to do astronomical imaging with a great telescope we have for doing that. It's a really good place to come where you can just relax in a very small environment with a small number of people. It does not have a really great museum and planetarium like Griffith Observatory, so if you want that, come here, like everybody else. But, a few people, you can go to Garvey.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the first thing that I did when my dad bought me my first telescope in my 40s. Yeah.
Like comer to astronomy, wow.
Oh, and I got to do this in COVID. I can't believe I'm sitting here. This is super weird.
It goes to show.
Super weird. I'm just committed to the bit.
Incredible astronomy
right?
we can create.
Yeah, I know. I'm
going
to demask. And,
it's an addiction.
Yeah.
It's an addiction.
Yeah, it is.
It is true.
It dug deep. But yeah, that's where I went to basically learn how to use the telescope that I got for Christmas, like so often happens. It was a really big deal for me. And I was eventually tasked by the president at the time, Daryl Dooley, to run the telescope loaner program, which is something we still do. So if you don't have a telescope and you're wondering which one to get, and maybe you want, that's not a telescope, if you want this one,
that's mine, I'm not
that
loaning
one,
it, but
or that one.
or this one's mine.
Actually, honestly, that one is a loaner scope. That one was a loaner scope. This is, I call them rescues. They were,
Do we even
they were
have? So
donated.
this is a smart telescope.
We have a number of smart telescopes. We actually have
smart telescopes.
we have formal affiliations with a smart telescope making people.
Yeah.
With manufacturers, and so we have 3 smart telescopes as loaners as well.
Oh.
So I often tell people that want to get into this, like, just come borrow one, see if it suits you or not. Or you can come to the shop and you can build your own one if you're suited to that. And all of those people in that photo in the right have never done that before. In fact, the one on the ground, that's Ada Rodriguez, who's 10, and she's grinding it. Her dad is right next to her. It's the cutest thing ever.
It's a long tradition in astronomy to polish mirrors and grind them, and it's pretty amazing to make your own.
It's crazy to watch. It's like watching Shawshank Redemption in real time. We're just kind of scratching away at these things for the better part of the year.
Very meditative.
It is. That's what they tell me. The patience of Job, those ones. So the larger picture is the shop when they're not in it. Bless their hearts. Oh, and you can actually see a couple of loaner scopes actually in the front. And to the left is actually where all the magic happens, as they say in cribs. MTV Cribs. That's where the. Sorry, I had to specify.
Should we make an MTV Cribs video of the?
No, we shouldn't. That should die right there. That's it. That's where the analogy should end. But that is where the magic happens. That's the dome where operator Dave Nakamoto shares what's up, and you will get exquisite detail about what's going on in the telescope. He's shooting pictures with the telescope that's piggybacked on the one that you can see there. And the big one is for your eyeballs. So you get to get all those photons wedged in there.
And David Nakamoto works here also, so there's a lot of crossover between the Griffith Observatory staff and, of course...
Oh yeah, that's how I got here. Yeah.
There you go. I got to LAAS because I started working
That's right.
here.
So it's a mutual...
it's a mutual friendship.
Right.
Kind of
And if you come to take the telescope making class, you actually make a whole telescope. You don't just grind and polish a mirror. You do the whole thing and you walk out with your own telescope. Unless you're way too lazy. But
no, we're not doing that anymore. That's a new policy. We're not
forced
allowing
to.
you to be too lazy. Yeah, if you bail, then we come to your house.
We make you finish it.
Yeah. It's a new thing.
And we also have, we were talking about Bortles earlier, obviously, so the quality of the night sky. LA, sure, not very inspiring always to, shoot things, but we have a dark sky property. Can you tell us more about it?
Absolutely. In the year of our Lord 1971, it was foretold by the board members of the Los Angeles Astronomical Society that we should purchase a 2.5 acre parcel of land.
it needs a bigger crown.
Yeah,
He's a bigger crowd.
I'm trying to earn it, Was the first anniversary his paper? What's the next one after this? Our club bought a parcel of land near the Los Padres National Forest in close to Fraser Park.
It's about 2 hours drive from here, an hour and a half.
2.5.
Yeah.
About 5,500 feet up. It's a Bortle. It's official. It's a Bortle High 3.
Oh, that's
We're
pretty
calling
good.
it a Bortle 4 forever, but we have a sky light meter up there, and we're calling it a 3.8.
That's great.
Okay.
3.8. So on that, and then in I think it was 2023, we acquired the 5 acres to the north of it and to the west as well. So right now we're working on a development plan for that one, but the 2.5 acres is.
There's a lot of facilities that have been upgraded. Last time I was there,
100%.
there is a warmed up. What do we call it?
Warming shed.
Warming tent.
Warming
There you
shed,
go.
yeah.
And so if you're outside shooting and you're feeling kind of cold in astronomy, it is cold and it's night. You can go inside and just toast your buns.
We can hang out. We have a nice coffee rig in there. Thinking about putting a record player in there.
That sounds pretty nice.
Yeah.
Oh, turning into a club in there.
Yeah, we're gonna have a bouncer. It's gonna be cool.
I would like to point out that it's named after Steve Kufeld, who was the inventor of the ubiquitous Telrad. If you don't have a Telrad on your telescope, then you're not cool. Go get a Telrad. Get rid of that stupid little finder. Put a Telrad on. He actually sold most of his Telrads to Hollywood movie studios because it's a precision pointer, and you can point a stage light without ever turning it on and know exactly where the dot will fall. And he passed away many years ago. Was a friend of mine. We named the site after him after he passed away.
I mean, that was one of the first pieces of advice I got, was to buy one of those things and put it on my telescope. At Garvey, that was one of the first things, and it's kind of holds up. You see it all the time, and it's not just because it's in the loving arms of the club. It actually is a really properly.
And those
good
are all,
advice.
to explain, those are all pads, right, for people to put telescopes
So
on?
what we're looking at here is the drone view of it, and in the middle you have that slid off slice of that circle. That's the Gordon Mitchell Observatory, and you can see the little telescope hanging in there, which isn't that little. And all the pads around the outside, ceremonially placed, are they're leveled telescope pads. Some of them have pier mounts. If your tripod can adhere to one, like that one would. And others are flat. A lot of them have electrical on there. And then as you look on the kind of the periphery to the top of the screen there, you'll see the big Dobsonian pad right there. That's for larger telescopes. Then there's accessory buildings around the outside that house a lot of the instruments that we keep up there, which would include, I'm segueing myself, all the toys. All right, so this is pretty current. There's a couple of things not on here, but this is on the upper left you've got the 26-inch telescope that used to be featured here for the Griffith Park star parties. We relocated it up there, so we have our biggest mirror in our darkest sky. Directly across from it, that is the telescope that is in the Gordon Mitchell Observatory. I don't think that picture is really doing it justice. It's really cool. It looks like it could have been a rocket itself. It's riveted around the outside. It's really great, and it's on an equatorial mount, and it will track the object that you put it on, where you just kind of drag it around. It's very visceral. Oh, look at that.
Lost the crown.
I know. Not worthy.
And we've got this binocular telescope.
We got the binoscope in the bottom left. So that's a big pair of binoculars. This is kind of one of those things like that you would say, well, what if we just had two telescopes? Just took one away. Okay, here, try it.
What is the difference in imagery from something like that? Because it's not obviously for giving you like a 3D view or something, right?
Not purposefully, but it's crazy what the brain does when you use that thing. So it runs into a lot of, it requires a lot of control because it's more than just getting it focused for one eye. You have to control between your two eyes. And then for each person, you have interocular spacing you have to accommodate for, because no two faces are the same. Yeah. And every time you make any of those moves, everything goes out of focus. So you're constantly tweaking these things. Yeah. And they're on motors. So anyone using this, it just sounds like you're like RoboCop getting out of bed. It's real crazy. And as you're lining up the two barrels, because they'll come out of alignment, and one of them moves laterally, and the other one moves vertically. When you're seeing that, you'll get double vision because the two barrels won't be the same. So what you do is you move them till you get your vertical plane worked out, and then you push them together. And what happens is really disturbing, at least to me. You get double vision. Oh, like, okay, that's close, and then fixed. Like your brain just takes over and just fixes it, and so you know that that's not real. But what's kind of cool about it, you do get a little bit of a three-dimensional thing. I think it's probably just an illusion for sure.
It's like a stereoscopic vision kind of thing.
Yeah, but it can be very comfortable. So your both eyes are going and you're kind of taking it in. I've spent a night with this thing, and it can be really cool. It can be, but you can't go, hey, check out this view. Forget it. Yeah. Because the next person's eyeballs aren't the same, and all is lost.
And all members are welcome to come to Lockwood, right?
No, they're requested to come.
That's right. And we have family nights where
we do all kinds of families. During this all year we have a dark sky night, which including this Saturday, where you go. It's the Saturday closest to the new moon, where all members can come up and we do a thing. In the spring, in the warmer months, we also do a family night, which would be the week before that, and we do a potluck, and that's where everybody brings up their families. And that's become a really popular thing. We've had as many as 70 members show up there for that one, for the Perseids.
That's amazing.
That one can be really great. And we have members of all stripes up there. We have astrophotographers mingling with visual. We have people who are confused. They're astro-curious. They're up there. There's all manners of everything. And the bottom right-hand corner speaks to that. That's the Carson Brucker Observatory with the C14 in there on a pier mount. That one, up until last week, was for visual astronomy only, even though despite it being on a mechanized mount. But we now have it so it can convert. If you want to take pictures, plop your camera on it, and you get that humongous telescope there.
That's awesome. And again, if you don't know how to use these things, you can come and people will show you.
Hang out.
We'll hang out.
That's how I did it. I mean, I have no training in any of this. It's just because people in the club care to show share their passion.
Really great community.
And if you're curious, how big of a sponge are you is really the only thing you have to be concerned with. I've done the astrophotography thing much to the humor of the people who I told I would never do that. So I'm looking at Ben over there for being my enabler, and Alexandra for helping me out with learning the ins and outs of the camera business. And I enjoy the challenge. But if you don't want to take on all of that, you can stay at home. And this is our robotic observatory, and this is a 130 millimeter Takahashi on an astrophysics mount with a medium format camera and all the excellent filters. Nobody should have this much power to themselves, and in this case they don't, because we share it.
And so you can program your observations ahead of time.
You have to.
It's
It works like a really nice restaurant.
Yeah. I mean, real
to reserve your
observatories
date.
work this
Yeah,
way.
you make a
by the way.
reservation. You make a reservation. Yeah.
You put up, sometimes you have a queue mode, and you put up. We do this with Gemini Observatory. That's how they work. And so you program your observations ahead of time, and figure out where you want to be in the sky, what you want to shoot, and then you get these phenomenal images straight to you. It's pretty great.
It's tremendous, and and all the data that anyone collects from this thing, it's all shared through the club.
Yeah.
So just because you asked for it doesn't mean that Spencer can't take it.
Yep, and Roman has done, one of our members and board members, has done a tremendous amount of work programming this and really putting in just enormous amounts of work.
Yeah, I can't believe it works.
Yeah.
It's crazy to watch. I mean, you'll be up there, and then all of a sudden the lid comes off this thing. I mean, it's robotic because it's robotic, and this thing starts whirring around. It's pretty great. I mean, we're lucky ducks to have such a thing. Yeah. And this is something that is available to all members. You don't have to. You don't have to be a green belt or anything. You can just be part. You can just have that.
Even the noobs.
Okay, so that is all the toys that we have. But what we really focus on in the heart of the club is outreach, and that is sharing our passion for all things astronomy with the public, be it kids, be it adults, however it may be. And we do this in a lot of different means. I'm just going to leave this here so you can read it. Do you guys get it?
Yeah.
Good? Okay. I spent 5 minutes on that. Okay, so.
Thank you, Keith. But it's important. Outreach.
There was no typos in that one. I was going to use our actual mission statement, but I decided to kind of freewheel it.
That's kind of where Griffith Observatory, in a way, really meets the LA Astronomical Society. Is we are devoted, all of us, to outreach, to talking to all of you. Some of you here might not be professional astronomers or even amateur astronomers, and we want to share this with you and to really, empower you to know that this is accessible to everyone.
Yeah, and our traditional, we'll call it input to the public is done right here at Griffith Park at our public star parties. We do
just
this
on our lawn.
Yep, we've worn out 3 of them now.
It's not our fault.
That's right.
The lawn has its own issues.
It's got to get blamed, but someone's got to take the hit. That's fine. We'll be that for you. That's okay.
When's the next one?
The next lawn or the next star party?
The next star party is going to be on January 24th. And this is it starts at 2 p.m. and it starts with solar. All our solar folk.
You get to look through that thing. So if you come around, you get to look through that. There's a lot happening on the sun right now. I keep having to convince people because they think we're trying to harm them. But no, the sun is safe to look at with appropriate equipment, and right now is a really great time to do it.
I just want to say that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
If somebody asks you to look at the sun through a telescope and you're not altogether sure whether it's set up properly, you just say, "You look first." That will solve your problem.
And actually, people have done that for me
Yeah,
because I
wow.
am not apparently outwardly trustworthy.
So I just wanted to point out that the star parties going forward also, if you missed the next couple or something, they're always on our Griffith Observatory website. You can find them in there.
Yes, and they look like that during the day, and then they look like the part on the left at night. We have that. That's our Centennial telescope on the left, which was started by member Greg Meldon and finished ably by current board member Shane Winter with the assistance of the Los Angeles Breakfast Club, who so graciously gave us a grant to finish it. But yeah, we have
big telescopes, little telescopes.
all things. We have smart telescopes looking at the sun, smart telescopes looking at nebulae and galaxies, regular telescopes looking at planets. We got the moon's always real popular.
All the telescopes.
All the stuff. And we do it close to the first quarter moon so that we have a moon ideally to show. Oftentimes we're giving away swag. If you see the tent, I'll probably be in it. Say hi.
And those, by the way, if you want to attend the star party, all of those dates are on the Griffith Observatory website, as well as the LA Astronomical Society website. So you can find those.
And because it's Griffith Park, we have there's a global presence. Oftentimes we get people from all over the United States, and also we tend to have them from all over the world as well.
It's a minor celebrity there. A friend of Dr. Krupp showed up. You may
and Brian May.
To me.
Nicely done, I appreciate that. We had a visit from Brian May, who's an astrophysicist as well as, by the way, a guitarist from Queen. He came and looked through our telescopes, and it was a pretty fun time.
It was, if you ever wanted to see people from Griffith Park, a flitter. that was it.
There was a mumbling and a rumble through.
Oh, it was amazing.
Is it all through my telescope or your telescope?
It was like fainting like those goats that you see. It was awesome. Okay, but that's not the only game in town. We're also on top of Mount Wilson. We do star parties up there as well. And we do special telescope nights. You'll see Daryl Dooley in the bottom left over there as our Mount Wilson coordinator. We have special nights where we get together as a group, pretty much once a month in the warmer months, on either the 60-inch or the 100-inch. And I met 2 of my best friends in the club that way, just hanging out and just sharing the experience. I've learned a ton. I think Gio's been there at every single one of them, and it's I think I know everything this man's gonna say, and he's always got something new. And then we always get, he always gives us the greatest hits, and then we always get something a little extra to take home so I can go back to outreach and talk about something that I learned and that can seem super smart. To that end, the club actually helped with building the focuser that's used on the 60-inch telescope. Wow. So to the right, that's where you put the eyepiece, where you stick your eye in. And I really like how actually it has the reducer, so you could put a 25 millimeter Plausill that you would get in the cheapest telescope on Earth into the 60-inch if you want to.
Pretty incredible.
But that was built by Bob Dubler, a club member of ours, and that's I'll call it enshrined up there. That was really cool to see when I first saw that. And then that crazy thing that you're seeing in the middle, that's Jeff Schroeder and his Diffractor telescope. He built that thing when he was in college, I believe. Yeah.
And attached it to the car.
Yeah, and you'll note that it's pretty well color matched.
That's not an accident.
Yeah, I asked him about it. I think the telescope was first, and he painted the car. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
So does he go
Extreme
around
modding.
in circles trying to position it?
No, he just there's a steering wheel on there, but not for the car. I think it's on the back of it. You actually steer the telescope with a second steering wheel.
Amusingly, we have a similar story at Griffith Observatory where the Zeiss telescope has several telescopes mounted on it. This is the telescope, one of the domes that you see here. And one of those telescopes was also used to be on someone's car. There's a picture there. It's a slightly older picture. So this is a popular thing that used to happen. I've seen it once actually at a star party. Someone came with, it might have been this gentleman, but pretty amazing.
It's a whole thing, and the fact that he went through to paint it. He's not the most aesthetically minded individual, but the fact that he still did that, I appreciate it. I got to tell this one story. He told me, so the objective, it's only got one piece of glass in there outside of the eyepiece, and it sits way at the front. And he carries it in something that looks like a wooden pizza box and just like heaves it in the back seat, like no big deal. And so he drives with the tube just empty. Speaking of tubes, we'll get it. We'll get it. This is our first time out. And he told me he actually was driving up to Mount Wilson and he sucked a bird into that thing.
Oh no!
Yeah, and it just kind of I guess the way that the wind went. Right in there, and then you watch the back, and it was just feathers flying out the back. But as the story goes, it was fine. It flew away and gave him a thumbs up. I'm sure everything was great.
I'm sure.
Yeah. So thanks. That was cool. I'm that guy, and so that's what happened. Yeah.
I would like to point out, since we have Mount Wilson Observatory up there, I'm a little biased because I've been there for 45 years and I'm currently the science director for Mount Wilson Observatory. But we have a little astronomical empire going on down here because you've already heard all the connections between LAS and Griffith Observatory. Well, Griffith, who called himself Colonel, but he was actually Major, don't worry about that. Major Griffith went up to Mount Wilson Observatory, looked through the 60-inch telescope himself, and said something inspiring like, if everybody could do this, all wars would end, or whatever it was he said. And then he gave the city a bunch of money to build this observatory, Griffith Observatory, because he was inspired by Mount Wilson Observatory. So there's an almost incestuous relationship all the way through all three of these organizations that have been around for a long time. So if you're really interested in astronomy and for some reason you feel bored, you must be insane, because there's really something to do where you go. There's a lot.
This is why I moved here from France. And Mount Wilson, in fact, was in some of my school, in some of our lectures, and because it was once Mount Wilson Observatory was the biggest telescope, or the 100-inch was the biggest telescope in the world for a while.
Twice, right? The 60 was, then the 100 was, yeah.
And so there's really a long legacy of this in Southern California, and of
where
course these amazing skies.
Where we found out how big the universe was. That's
right.
also
With that instrument right there on the 60. And, it really does. All right, I'm leaving it down. We get it. It's funny. Okay. But it does. Tim is totally right, though. I mean, it occurred to me at one point. I was up at Mount Wilson for a star party, and we were done. And I'm like, oh, well, let me see what they're doing over at the 60, because I knew I had a friend there.
Yeah.
And or I could go visit. We have people that we have two members that work at Chara up there. One of them also works here at Griffith.
Yeah, Evan.
Evan Matria. And it really is an extended family, and it was really cool coming here and meeting everybody here for this show. Because it's all kind of the same thing.
And we also have meetings here. So I enjoyed what you were mentioning yesterday, that we really have something for everyone at LA Astronomical Society. There's of course all these different sites, and there are lectures here. So you can actually come here once a month. We have general meeting. There's some prizes. There's all sorts of fun things happening, and there's someone comes and gives a talk on a particular subject. We have a nice show and tell at the end of the year that I think is a really nice. Club members will share some cool pictures they've done, Astronomical, and there's school outreaches.
100%. So this is really where the rubber meets the road for us. Is there we're in a lot of the local schools. We're there several times a year. We have our outreach coordinator just for this, just to make sure we're there. In fact, we're doing one right now.
Yeah. Right.
And that's a really big thing.
First time that some kids get to look through a telescope.
100%. And then in the case of some, that creates future astronomers. I mean, that's Evan, who's working at Chara. He was one of those kids.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
I mean, you can actually follow it all the way up, and it's a really cool thing to be part of. And again, keep bringing up Gio, but he's a big champion of this.
Yeah.
And he was recently honored for such a thing, wasn't he?
Yes, Gio was a recipient of the G. Bruce Blair Medal, a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Consortium of Western Amateur Astronomers for his commitment to public astronomy and the children at the school where he works, where he goes out of his way and spends his own money to take care of them.
And he runs our own science night. We do one at Garvey
science
once a year, and that's Gio's baby as well. We just
and works at Griffith Observatory. How does he have the time?
He's a telescope man.
He works everywhere. He's at all three.
He's omnipresent.
All
There's
over the place.
Yeah, there's at least two of them.
Yeah, at least two.
That's why he gets to count as president twice. All right, we'll keep going. Okay, now this one's my baby. This one's my baby.
He was the inventor of this, and he deserves credit for it.
So, all right. So, the impetus for this was a member of the club and I were out at a concert in Silver Lake, and it was during one of the supermoons, and we had our telescopes in the car left over from one of the events that we did here. Actually, it was that one. It was that guy over there. It was that actual telescope, and we just asked the bouncer. If it was okay if we set our telescopes to come out, just so people can
street astronomy,
just straight up, just come out from the bar. And two cool things happened. One, they said, "Yeah, go ahead." And the second one is, "Oh, you're with the Astronomy Society? Do you know Spencer Suhu?" Like the bouncer knew Spencer. Like, what the hell? So a lot of people here doing the most, and so we did, and everybody came out. Oh my God! Everybody came out for the bar, and then this car comes peeling off the side of the road. He says, "Whoa, are you doing astronomy?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Do you know Spencer Zuhu?" One of his random friends. Couldn't believe it.
But they've been extremely well attended.
So that's how it started. Yeah. And then I knew about Sunset Triangle Plaza from Pine and Crane, the restaurant right there, and it's a place I've been to for a while. And it's grown little by little, and then suddenly it grew really quickly. In the left middle, That's me and Bobby Cabbage-Stock, who is a guy who lives right. He lives right there in one of the apartments right there, and he was like, "Oh man, this is really cool. My family's into sciences, and can I help you guys blow this up?" I'm like, "Okay, stranger, sure." And then he totally did. He works in fashion. And all of a sudden, there's models showing up at this thing. We've always had a penchant for having music involved in these. And in the upper left-hand corner, you'll see Eric LIVESTREAM, who had the photo earlier with the Eagle Nebula and Comet Swan. That was him.
Yeah.
That's him jamming out with you.
Yep.
Ginger Heart.
Yeah, Ginger Heart. Yeah.
Party.
So we have members out there doing stuff. Of late, all of a sudden, we've had a lot of jazz bands coming out, and it's become a really big thing. We do these big ones once a month, so as not to fatigue the membership and all that stuff. But it's the Thursday preceding our Griffith Park things, our Griffith Park Star Parties. So we're doing Griffith Park on the 24th. The next Star Party, Silver Lake, is going to be, the big one is going to be on the 22nd. So it'll be a week from today.
Pretty exciting.
And how many people show up?
We've gotten as many as 2,500 people. I would say probably that bottom one right there might have been.
For how many telescopes?
I don't even know. You can't even
As
see it.
many as we can get.
Yeah, we usually get about
that's a
15.
small area. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah, we fill it up, and
Yeah.
so what's cool about this, I'm not going to keep harping on it. But that was actually an accident. The food there is really great. We get a lot of people out there. It's part of their night out. You would just Uber to the area, go to the bars afterwards, just make it part of the thing. Come hang out, feel the vibe, see Jupiter or whatever we've got up. You can hang out with all the cool people. There's Shane in the upper middle. There's Michael Jackson, the guy who took the photo of the sun.
That's a great community.
Yeah, and then you've got Joe Phipps right there on the left. It's really great. I love it a lot, and you guys should come. Okay, now for a bummer. So this is there. You notice I said 4 observatories and not 5. In September 2024, we lost the Ford Observatory to the bridge fire. That was in its splendor on the left, and that is its current state to the right. This was a really big hit for, actually speaking of Joe Phipps, he lives up in Wrightwood, and this was his thing. And former President Curtis Byram, and I never got a chance to go. It sucks.
Yeah,
I never got a chance to go. Well, I did have a chance to go, I just didn't go. I just didn't do it. Sucks.
Seize the moment.
Yeah, I know. It sucks. Now it's that.
It's a big. I should add. It's a big cleanup effort. It costs a lot of money. You have to check for asbestos.
It's a whole thing. There is asbestos,
Yeah.
and so we can't clean it, and we have to restore it back to the natural way of the forest. The U.S. Forest Service is, despite the fact that you see these like modern artifacts of old, dilapidated buildings and urban decay. That's not the case here. We have to restore it back to the way that Bambi's parents would have wanted it.
And it costs the club a lot of money. I think there's going to be a GoFundMe.
It's going to. We're going to have to start a
try
GoFundMe
help.
for this because it's going to cost about $40,000 all told between the remediation of the. We have to. I mean, there's that huge thing. We have to jackhammer down, pull all the concrete out.
And there's no
asbestos
possibility
in
of
there.
rebuilding there.
No.
I'm guessing it's
I mean,
uninsurable.
it didn't. We didn't even have the lease on the land. We were leasing it from the U.S. Forest Service. It's just not practical, especially given our direction and working on our own site up at Lockwood.
Yeah.
So it is sad. We will be looking for a little help
closing.
on closing that chapter of the club. But still, join the club.
It's true. We have.
I've seen it.
there's
It's messed
reserve-
up, man.
And we wanted to share these last 2 little images. So this was I was sent this by our historian, Lou Chilton. How do you pronounce it?
Our actual historian.
Our actual historian,
Yeah.
who honestly
Sorry.
has amazing archives. We're going to dig into them this year for the centennial, and find a lot of cool historic pictures. And this, I believe, was about a meeting that happened at Mount Wilson in 1928. So there was at the beginning when the club was founded, it was not officially called Los Angeles Astronomical Society right away. That came, I think, in 1926 or 28 or a little later.
Amateur telescope.
But he sent me this amazing photo. And what was remarkable, so this is a meeting at Mount Wilson. You can recognize some of the structures. And what is so amazing about this photo, I thought, was also there's a lot of women there. And keep in mind that at that time, women were not allowed to work up at Mount Wilson Observatory in those domes, right? The astronomy as a profession was not really accessible to a lot of women. And so I find it such a testament to how amazing the community of this club is, how open-minded, that there's just, you look at this image and there's lots of women who were part of this club and who came out for astronomy, and I found that remarkable.
Another remarkable thing is if you look really carefully, I guess to the third row over there, about 98 years ago, you can find a 44-year-old Tim Thompson.
Oh, you gotta point this out.
Actually, that's my kid.
So, really amazing stories. Thank you for sharing all of this with us. If you want to join the LA Astronomical Society, you can go on our website, you can come to some meets, and you don't have to be a member, by the way. Come to star parties, come to the Silver Lake Star Party, meet everyone, look through some telescopes. We're all here to share all these wonders, and we'll have lots of events this year as well.
Right, we're not really evangelist about it. We just care about the stuff that we care about. We just want to share it with you. Like if you want to just take part of it, it's a good time. I mean, the reason why I love outreach is just because it makes me feel better at the end of the day. Yeah. It's an exchange of energy, and it's just a positive third space in a time where I feel like we can really use it.
Yep. So we've got a short little trailer for actually next month. I don't know if we were meant to have some harp over this, but we are showing you what we attended last week. This is kind of the Super Bowl of astronomy, by the way, if you can believe we have such events. Also, big community, really, really fun. So next month we will have some special guests, and we'll be talking about everything that goes on there. We have some really fun things. We have, in fact, this is related to the American Astronomical Society. Also very old. This was the 247th meeting of the American Astronomical Society. There's also some old photos where you see women in these meetings. Pretty remarkable. Sometimes they were assistants. So we're really excited to share this with you. And we have a guest who is one of the plenary speakers. So Raja Guha Kurla, I'm sorry, I want to make sure I'm pronouncing his name correctly. I'll fix it by next month. He's at the University of Santa Cruz. So he will be coming with us. He'll be coming in here and debriefing a lot of the news that we got to see, lots of press releases, lots of exciting research, lots of what's going on. And these are some of our future guests that we can announce now. So on March 19th, we will have Solène Antoine from Caltech. And she works in seismology. We mentioned one of her papers some months ago. So she actually did some comparisons between some faults in Myanmar and here in Los Angeles. So we're going to have a little bit of an Earth focus for this one, talk about everything that's going on beneath our feet, not above our heads. And in April, we will have Jamaica Marshall, amazing person as well. She runs the Shadow the Scientist program. And she will have a lot to say. She's based out of Hawaii, but she's also part of University of Santa Cruz and does these incredible programs. So I hope you'll join us for these programs. And I really want to thank all of you for being here tonight. Thank you. Give yourselves a clap. And of course, as always, we want to thank City of Los Angeles, Department of Recreation and Park, and our exclusive nonprofit partner, Griffith Observatory Foundation. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next month.
All right, thank you.
One last thing.
We'll see you at Garvey Ranch.
There you go. And feel better, Dr.
Or
Rice.
possum. Don't forget, or possum.